So there is always bad and good, white and black. Okay, we never think in terms of grey. Have we ever thought in terms of grey or something not there? If I have to say that this world is manifest and it has come from the unmanifest, you ask any scientist in this world, he'll wonder what am I talking about. Spirituality is a subject about the spirit. You ask any atheist in the world, he'll say, what nonsense are you talking? Our body is dead. When we die, then we are gone back to the dust. So don't tell me about all these things. There is nothing called the soul. There is nothing called the spirit. He has already closed his minds. Does it mean that he is right? Well, he is not investigated, no? Investigation is important. So what is he talking about? If you understand the truth, there is always, the truth is hidden. It's covered. Every scripture, believe me, every scripture that is there, which we call as the Holy Scripture, don't take it at face value. If you are in spiritual, don't you even bother taking scriptures like say for example a Ramayana or a Mahabharata at face value. The moment you take it at face value, you are going to get very lost in this world. So we will start from verse 37, chapter 10, verse 37 of the Bhagavad Gita. I am Krishna among the Vrishnis, Arjuna among the sons of Pandu, Vyas amongst the sage, and the sage Shukracharya amongst the wise. See, he has taken some very, very important names over here. First is, he is saying that he is Krishna. Second, he says, I am Arjuna. Third, he says, Vyas. And the fourth one, he says, as Shukracharya. When we say this, that I am this, what exactly am I trying to say? Now let us say, I have a name, but I am also the chairman of a company. I am a CEO of another organization. I am the president of some board. I am a director in some company. Okay, so if I have to look at this from that perspective, it can be clearly understood that it is one and the same person. But because of the functionality and the differences in the organization or wherever the structure is required, I am going to be that individual there. So every role that is being given will be having its own functionalities, own roles. Like, say for example, the role of a director is different than the role of a president of a company. It absolutely differs. A role of a father-in-law is not the same as the father's role. Got it? So every role differs. Whereas, the moment you understand that everything is one, there is no two in this world. Everything is one. So this entire creation is just an extension of Sri Krishna. Just an extension. So he is playing the role of a manifest deity called Krishna. Got it? So the super soul or the supreme divine consciousness has assumed the role of Krishna in the clan of Vrishnis. Alright? Then he is talking about Arjuna among the sons of Pandu. So if I take Pandu, the Pandavas, the ancestor of Pandavas, it has to be understood that there are various children like Yudhishthir, okay, Arjun, Bhim, so on. So he is saying highest amongst them. What is the highest amongst them? Arjuna is the highest. So he says you should assume that I am Arjuna in Pandavas. Vyas among the sages. Now, Ved Vyas, as he is known otherwise, Ved Vyas is an avatar of Sri Krishna himself. He came on this earth so that he can write about the different avatars that Krishna has taken on this earth. So one of the greatest scriptures of all times is called the Srimad Bhagavatam. Alright? Now Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the greatest scriptures. Then there is an epic poem called Mahabharata that is also written by him. This scripture which we are holding today in hand is also one of his, whatever that he has offered us in this world. Now you may wonder, but Sri Krishna happened many years ago, eons ago. How is it that Ved Vyas can say these things? I want you to think like this, that is anything impossible for Sri Krishna? Everything is possible. He can take birth even today. See, when I say birth, it doesn't mean actually birth, okay? I have already clarified this to you all that Sri Krishna doesn't take birth. He manifests. Manifests mean what? Like I had already given examples. Sri Krishna's idea about coming on this earth is he can take up any form. So for teaching human beings, he has to take a human form, isn't it? So he has taken a human form. Now the idea was to write one of the greatest scriptures of all times. So when you have to write the greatest scripture of all times, what is the reason behind coming? So that the world gets to know firsthand what happened. See, many years ago when I was not in spiritual, I means this person, okay? The biggest question in front of me was, how is it that things happened during the time of Sri Ram? Eons ago. Something happened during the times of Sri Krishna. Again eons ago. It is thousands of years ago. Maybe I don't even know when it happened. And there are some things which happened many millions of years ago. How is it that we know that this is the truth? Because in the Bible also there is a mention of Adam and Eve. How does anybody in the current yuga, that is in the current age, know something that happened during the time of Adam and Eve? How do they know about Noah? You got it? How does anybody know of anything that happened? So I said that maybe people's imagination is what is playing, and I had to go on my journey to find out about this. And I went on my journey. Then came the part of spiritual. I came into spirituality. So that happened a couple of years ago. And when I came into it, the question never arose. Because the answer stood right in front of me. When I can take a body and I can write about something this person, this body had no idea about, that there was a scripture called Bhagavad Gita. No idea, absolutely no idea. Having gone to a Christian school, the only thing that I knew was a class called moral science class, and there was nothing in the moral science class. So I had no idea about Ramayana, I had no idea about Mahabharata, I don't even know who Shiva is, I don't know anything because nobody in my family ever told me about it and nobody bothered to. And I never even bothered to find out. And when that happened, one of the greatest things that literally hit me was, we are the followers of gurus in my family. Okay? So, my family, wherever I come from, we believed in Sai Baba of Shirdi, and before that, Dattatreya. So, there were only two pictures in the house, one of Sai Baba and one of Dattatreya. That's it. So, what God are we talking about? So, the only thing that happened was I used to watch some TV. I was not a great fan of television, but some TV, somebody will say that there is a serial called Mahabharata and there is a serial called Ramayana. So, I will just go sit in front of the TV someday and I will watch it. And I was very skeptical about the whole thing. I said, no, I don't believe in all these things. Because you see, there should be at least some remnants from the past. Like million years ago, the dinosaurs came into the picture. Okay? Today, I can find the bones of a dinosaur and I can go to a museum and say, yes, a dinosaur existed. There was a proof of it. So to my stupid mind, the question was, if there were millions of people crossing over from Lanka, from India to Lanka, at least some remnants of what they are should be there somewhere. At least the bones, some kind of thing. But there was nothing there. Dwarka also, there was no way of knowing where Dwarka is. So for my innocent mind, I can't even call it innocent, I could call it a stupid mind. These things never existed. And then, when I got into spiritual, very strange thing happened. I was not even aware of the books before. Please remember this. I picked up, my neighboring shop had one small book of Bhagavad Gita. I picked it up from there because, you see, when people come to sell all their old books, so there are some old books available. So, this person, he's a kabadiwala, we call him. He buys old newspapers, books and all that. Junkyard kind of a guy. So he had this pile of books. I picked them up and I took them and I told him, I said, I want these books. It's okay? He said, yeah, give me 10 rupees. So I gave him 10 rupees and I took the books. It must have cost him more, but still. And I opened the first book. And when I opened the first book, I said, I know this. I know this. Then I opened the second book, and then the third book, and then the fourth book. All these were spiritual texts, okay? And I opened it and I said, I know literally everything in this. So I went and told the people around, ask me any question from this book, and I will answer you. And then it became a very difficult task for me because I had to find more and more complex subjects to decipher. I said, okay, fine, let me go and buy this book and that book and that book and that book. And I kept on doing this. Now, when I did this, I said, how is it that a person who has no idea about the existence of even Mahabharata or Ramayana or for that matter Bhagavad Gita has all the knowledge in this world? That means there is something wrong. So I went on my journey. And I found the answers to it. It has nothing to do with this life of mine. I am not that which is, the one who was there before spirituality took charge of me. That person was different than this person. And then the whole scene came in front of me. How the manifestation happened. It was a shocker to me because, okay, I am not that. Really? How is that possible? So let us come back to this scripture again. So Sri Krishna takes the form of Vyasdev or Dvapayana Vyas Muni as we call him. Ved Vyas in very short terms. So he was the master of the Vedas and he has written n number of scriptures. Now we come to the next word, Shukracharya. How many of you know who is Shukracharya? Shukracharya is the guru of the Daityas, the demons, the master of the demons. And here Krishna is saying, I am the master of the demons. So for an innocent mind again, the question will be, how can God be the master of demons also? That means he is teaching the gods and he is teaching the demons. Both these, in the earlier sentences, he was giving an idea that he is the master of all the gods, the demigods. And now he is saying he is the teacher of the demons also. Doesn't that sound very odd? Well, the idea is this. In a normal world, there is always good and bad. A normal world. The whole world is normal, okay? Normal in the sense, we just get to see what we get to see. So our eyes, ears and all will see what is there right in front of our eyes. So there is always bad and good, white and black. Okay, we never think in terms of grey. Have we ever thought in terms of grey or something not there? If I have to say that this world is manifest and it has come from the unmanifest, you ask any scientist in this world, he'll wonder what am I talking about. Spirituality is a subject about the spirit. You ask any atheist in the world, he'll say, what nonsense are you talking? Our body is dead. When we die, then we are gone back to the dust. So don't tell me about all these things. There is nothing called the soul. There is nothing called the spirit. He has already closed his minds. Does it mean that he is right? Well, he is not investigated, no? Investigation is important. So what is he talking about? If you understand the truth, there is always, the truth is hidden. It's covered. Every scripture, believe me, every scripture that is there, which we call as the Holy Scripture, don't take it at face value. If you are in spiritual, don't you even bother taking scriptures like say for example a Ramayana or a Mahabharata at face value. The moment you take it at face value, you are going to get very lost in this world. And then you will say, oh, there is one Brahmaji, there is one Shiva, there is one this, there is one that. And you will do all your rituals and your rites and this and that and pray to something. Alright? Well, spirituality is about knowing thyself. Know thyself. Do you understand? You have to know yourself. The scriptures are in you. It is not outside of you. This is the truth. Krishna is giving you straight in your face. He is saying, I am in this, I am in that, I am in you. Who has told you this? That I am not in you. He is telling Arjuna, see the funny part of it over here. He is straight away giving an understanding to Arjuna. I am the Arjuna among the Pandavas. And Arjuna is looking at him. You see, imagine a knuckle-headed person. Yeah, what is it? What are you saying? But I am Arjuna, you are Krishna. You are Krishna among the Vrishnis, I am the Arjuna among the Pandavas. And what are you talking? You are me? No. I can't see you in me. See? The funny part is, Krishna is telling you directly in his face. I am you. How much more do you need to understand in this? There is no need beyond this verse. I am you. That's it. If I am you, then I am you, period. I am Krishna in you, no? So, what are you talking about? Somebody is evil over there, somebody is good over there, somebody is, like, we keep on giving names. Tomorrow a woman will say, I am the daughter-in-law, she is my mother-in-law, she is the biggest villain of all. Okay, don't tell me about it. Yeah, of course, that is how you will say. And my boss, biggest person on earth whom I don't like. Yeah, of course. There are some things which you may not like, But that is also you. Who has told you that is not you? It's very difficult to understand because your ego is so strong. Arjuna's ego is very strong. He believes he is Arjuna. This is the falsehood. So, evil and good are nothing but the same coin, the two sides of the same coin. Alright? So, if I have to give you an example, it would be that there are certain parts in your body, okay, which are cauterizing your own organs. Cauterizing means eating away your own organs. Do you know this or no? They have the job. They will eat up your own body. Why? Why do you think that is happening? So that the new cells are formed. Would you agree with me? Now let us say on your hand or on your face, okay, there are 1 billion cells. Okay. In a few days, the cells have grown, have become matured, and they are supposed to die and go away. Now let us say they don't die. Okay, they just hang around over there. The new cells are going to be born. They also have to mature and they also have to be born. And this keeps on happening continuously. Okay, I want you to think about it. Very shortly, what are you going to become? Groot. You see, you are going to have a solid structure on the outside. And you will not be alive because something has to eat away these cells also. No? The dead cells have to be eaten by some energy, something. Likewise, inside your body also there are some things which have to work in favor and against you also. If they don't work against you, you are going to get into trouble. So, this negativity which is there, which is what is connected to the Daityas or the demons, please remember this, if they are not there, you cannot become God. It is only when there are two sides playing in a football game, one side is playing for and one is against, then only the game takes place. In India also there is a cricket matches are going on. If there is no opposing team whom we think of themselves as Daityas, demons, like India will say Pakistan is a demon and Pakistan will say we are demons for them. Don't you think so? That is how it is, isn't it? If there are no opposing forces, we will not exist. How can we grow? So please remember this. The demonic energies are so important in life that if they don't exist, we will not be able to perform. So, if the demons have to be trained, don't you think they also need the best of the teacher in the world? It is an important requirement. Who else can be the best teacher? Sri Krishna himself. So please remember this. It is never like that. Unless and until you have an equal and opposing force, Nothing moves. Right? And this is the reason why we have to accept this. That Sri Krishna can be anything. And he is a master of everything. So we will now move to chapter 10, verse 38 of the Bhagavad Gita. I am the subduing power of the rulers. I am the righteousness in those who seek to conquer. Of things to be kept secret, I am the custodian in the form of reticence, and I am the wisdom of the wise. Now, we are coming again to things which we cannot put our fingers in. Like, say, for example, what is the power of the rulers? There are lots of, nations in this world. You will find that people are suppressed. Okay? They are suppressed, they are oppressed. Doesn't that happen? You will find that in most of the nations in the world, there are people who are dictators. They dictate terms. You can't do this, you can't do that, this has to be like this, you have to wear clothes like this, you cannot go out like that. There are rules and regulations. It's the power which subdues somebody else. No, don't talk, don't open your mouth. Today there are nations where a person cannot even open his mouth. He is immediately slaughtered. I mean, he is put to death. For what? For opening his mouth. Somebody wrote on social media about something, and that woman, she was mauled to death. A young woman. Why? So there are some nations, they subdue them. So if you think that that is a bad thing, think about it like this. If somebody is not subdued, do you think they will ever rise? You see, if in a household, if there is everything going on perfectly nicely, oh yes my dear husband, yes my dear wife, yes everything is okay, we will do this and we will, everything is going on like this, do you think that that family has any excitement in it? Is every day like curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, curd rice, One day you are going to get irritated with it. So this is the reason why you can't have the same thing. So one day there is going to be a fight, one day there is going to be, people are going to be nice, third day something else is going to happen, fourth day something else. It is an up and down and up and down and up and down in life. And always remember, the person who is strong will always subdue the weak. So that person will say, okay, go do this, go do that. This is so common. So let us understand that this kind of thing, if it doesn't happen, you are not going to ask for independence. You see, India was subdued for more than 200 to 300 years by the British rule. Finally, India fought back and got its independence. Would you agree with that? But it took much time, so many years before they opened their eyes and said, okay, now I got to fight. I got to fight this war. I got to fight for my freedom. Freedom comes. It's the same thing where the north-south divide was there in the United States. The Declaration of Independence. Okay? Everything happened in such a manner. Apartheid was there in South Africa. Nelson Mandela and his whole gang that was there. Finally, it became equal. So, this is to happen, isn't it? Subduing everybody is important. Without anybody getting subdued, how can they rise any which way? So if everything is going on hunky-dory, nobody is going to be bothered about it, right? That is the reason why. Likewise, if you want to know the highest of the secrets, that is me. Now I want you to think about it. The Vedas, are they not the highest of the secret? Yes. Now if the Vedas are saying something, how many people know the Vedas? I can tell you in today's day and age, it is near impossible to know the Vedas. You can keep on mouthing all the suktams that you want to, but you won't understand even an ounce of it. Not even an iota of what you are talking. You can keep on saying all the prayers in the world. The prayers have zero value because you don't even understand what you are talking about. Who is going to give you that knowledge? So it is all a secret. My job is to divulge that secret as much as I can. So here Sri Krishna is also divulging to Arjuna the secret, isn't it? I am you. So simple the secret is, it's facing in the face, and yet he is going to ask, really? I don't know. Of course he doesn't understand. I am the custodian in the form of reticence, I am the wisdom of the wise. Next verse, chapter 10, Bhagavad Gita, verse 39, Arjuna, I am even that which is the seed of all life, for there is no creature moving or unmoving which can exist without me. Now here, I go and tell my atheist friend, sir, it is written in my books, It is written, I am that thing which is keeping everybody alive. My friend is going to tell me, no, I am breathing, that is why I am alive. My body is working, that is why I am alive. Sir, why are you breathing? No idea. How is that the cells are working? No idea. What keeps it working? No, I have to do a lot of research on this. Maybe in the next century or maybe 50 years from now, I will be able to tell you. What you will be able to tell me? Nothing. How have we discovered this universe? You know something, I can tell you. If I have a gazillion hairs on my head, I pull out one and that is all I know about the universe. That is all I know. I have no idea about the universe at all. And here we are talking about, here Sri Krishna is openly saying, by the way, now after reading that previous verse, you know very well that he is Ved Vyas also, no? And he is telling Ved Vyas, see, I am that as well. How many times do you want me to tell you? So I am that seed also, from which everything came about. I am also the creature that is moving and unmoving. That is also me. And what is it that makes it exist is also me. Please understand this. No. Next verse 40. Arjuna, there is no limit to my divine manifestation. This is only a brief description by me in the extent of my glory. So I have just touched upon this subject very, very briefly. If you understand, well and good. If you don't understand, don't worry. This time I will give you 80 KT. 80 KT means allowed to keep terms, by the way. I did my law like that. Okay? Allowed to keep terms. I never appeared for any examination. So first year I did allowed to keep terms, so I did the second year. No examination. I never wrote any examination. So I did like that, you go and keep terms like that. So maybe next life I will know a little bit more. Maybe after that one more life I will know a little bit more. And then one more life. I really have no idea, Arjuna will think. Okay, you do one thing, like you are Shukracharya, you are this, you are that. Next time also you come, no? Okay, both of us can have a nice, picnic every time that we come. We can keep on having all kinds of Mahabharata all the time. And yeah, of course. Then you keep on teaching me this. Someday it will go in my knucklehead, okay? Someday it will enter me. So every such being as is glorious, brilliant and powerful, know that to be a part manifestation of my glory. Everything in this universe, anything that you say, people, place, things, whatever you may say, it's a part of very, 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 very tiny portion of me only. Last verse of this chapter, chapter 10, verse 42. Oh, what will you gain by knowing all this in detail? Arjuna, suffice to say that I hold this entire universe by a fraction of my yogic power. I am not in it. I just hold this whole thing by just a very, very tiny fraction of my power. So if I look at this universe is just a dust particle at my feet. This universe of yours is just a tiny dust particle at my feet. I want you to think about it. And you think of yourself as some great change. No. If I am holding this whole universe in such a small portion of it with my little power, so don't bother to even think about it, because there is no point in your thinking process. You have a 1 cent or a 2 cent or maybe 1 paisa, 2 paisa worth of brains, and you are trying to decipher me. So don't even bother about it. Don't even try. Because I have told you something, just accept it at a face value and let us forget about it. You just focus on the war. Let us come back to the subject. There is a war going on and you are the person who is saying, I don't want to fight the war. But boss, I am the boss of this whole universe. I am standing next to you. Why are you not fighting? Okay? The idea is simply like this. When I have given you the permission, go to America. Go! Don't keep on asking me. Okay? If I am saying, go do this, just do it. Don't bother about it. It is going to be. That is how it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay? So thus in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scriptures of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the 10th chapter entitled The Yoga of Divine Glories. So today we have heard Krishna talking about his own self, who he is. And so we have come to the end of this chapter. So tomorrow we will start the new chapter.